Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast for Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger. I am Vashi V, and joining me today is.
Right. Welcome to episode 27. Uh, so, last time we discovered the location of a new Kishiryu. Uh, Amigo is excited because it's Pachigaru, who is supposed to be his greatest paisem.
Uh, Goddamn TV.
I don't understand how TV would make him mix up the word senpai.
I can understand it if he's watching, dumb things that,
Like a
where people call.
Japanese SNL.
Right, where they're, they. Because I hear this a lot, because, one of my coworkers, former boss, he travels to Japan a lot because he's engaged to a girl out there, and so he's been learning Japanese and all. He's very good at it, and he's noticed that a lot of kids shows and anime is they use the wrong terminology and words, and they say things incorrectly.
To be like cute or.
I think so. It hasn't really been explained to me why it happens, but it's very otaku weeaboo ish kind of you know thing. So it's it could just be something that Tier Migo's been watching something that does that. I mean, its usage isn't wrong. It's just worded wrongly. Um, it's like that whole. As much as I hate to mention it, it's I've been seeing a lot of those are memes. They're all usually very inappropriate, in things in context. But the phrase are, it doesn't mean what the images are implying overall.
Right.
Because are just means basically oh my. And you 9 times out of 10 in context, it's oh my, that was a sad story, or oh my, that was impressive.
Tell that to George Takei.
Oh my. But it's just one of those things. It's like that, but that's the way that the memes take it. So it's it could just be whatever he's watching is just wrong for whatever reason. You've seen television here lately, I'm sure. The quality of words in programs are not that good anymore.
Depends on what you're watching. But I haven't had like generic cable in years, so I haven't seen like mundane stuff. So you're right. Like I'm sure
Like,
there's a lot of shake it ups out there that are like appealing to too young of an audience.
or it's even some of the educational stuff too is just bad. Like, I forget what it was, but there was a show that was made for kids. It was an
Mm-hmm.
educational TV show.
Okay.
It was along the lines of Pepe Pig, but it wasn't Pepe Pig. It was something else. And so it was a lot of British words. So they used bin for, trash can and all, and bog for toilet and whatnot. But they were using incorrect slang and words in it. And I was like, that's not helping people. That's where this type of thing comes up. Which this could just be a jab at that, but then again, this is a kid show, so the message probably isn't that deep. It was just something. Here's something funny.
Is it Word World?
It might be.
I just looked up a list of like British educational shows for kids, and the image I got for that one is horrifying. But there's a pig.
Yeah, it may be because yeah, it was kind of horrifying.
I'm sending Vashi the image that I am seeing. I'm not gonna expose your eyes to it. Is that it?
No,
No.
I
Okay.
wish that was, but that yes, that was horrifying too. Where words come
And
alive.
delete. Okay. Uh, so getting back to Ryusoulger. Uh, they head out to where the temple should be, and Tiramigo breaks open the side of a mountain to reveal Pachigaru. They want him to come out and join them, but he can't. He can't break the seal without his son Chibigaru, and so they have to go and find him. And so they just kind of leave him there with the giant hole in the wall. I'm sure no one will notice.
Yeah, I doubt it. I mean, but then again, again, nobody blinks an eye at a walking dinosaur.
Yeah.
And nobody batted an eye when Creon made a music video. Well, probably because it
They
couldn't.
couldn't.
Uh, I'm glad you realized the setup to that joke as I realized the setup to that joke.
uh, so,
Real quick, this does lead to one question on the overall plot of this. So he couldn't leave because his son was missing. How the
so how
how
did his
did his
son get out?
son? Yes,
Yeah.
because his son's basically in the sewers.
Ignore that part.
Plot hole.
Uh, so, Crayon and Wizaru in their secret base are discussing how to make the Minosaur grow. Uh, and so Wizaru basically says, "All right, so what you do is you go to the sad woman, right? You talk her up, and then you break her down. For example, he tells Crayon like, "Hey, that outfit looks great on you. You're the 34th person I've seen wear it today."
Like this is the type of shit. Like this whole scene is the type of shit. Why I love Wizaru is amazing because first off, when he did that to Creon, it didn't click for Creon initially. Creon was generally taking the compliment. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, now I know what you mean. And then of course Creon just goes dark with it when later on. But yeah, like just Wizaru in general is just amazing. I love his humor through this. It's like, and it's a very cliche and stereotypy way of like making women sad. Especially that particular one is like, oh, that's a nice outfit. It looks really good. I've seen other people wearing it.
So many other people. And then Wizaru carries it forward when Gadgeleus shows up and Crayon is like getting all scared. Wizaru just stands up to the fucker. Like, so yeah, Gadgeleus, surprise. When he supposedly died, like, he actually, like, just shrunk down and flew into space. And so Wizaru just stands and was like, oh, so you ran away. No, I withdrew. You ran away. And then he just fucking Bugs Bunnies the guy.
Yes, I'm so glad, and it's so worked too because he got half of it out of his mouth.
That counts. You slipped up.
It counts. It counts. And, like
Like,
to me, this is like the attention to detail that I like on this because I did go back and watch the episode where he gets defeated, and that little ball is there. So yeah, he legitimately fled because usually this is something that they'd go in and like after effect it on to a scene that's already there. Just go, oh no, he didn't die. You just didn't see it right.
and I love this interaction because when Gadgelius initially showed up, Wizaru was just like, I cannot work with this guy, and he stormed off to go cool down. Now I was kind of disappointed. It's like, we We got Tankjo back for a couple episodes, but we didn't see Wiser interact with him at all. This makes up for it.
Oh, this does, especially
Wiser
with the
just
way.
trolling Gadulaeus.
Right, especially after Gadulaeus showed up, and went basically "fuck you all, I'm the best," and Wiser went "fuck it, I'm out." He came back and has been, I hesitate to say kicking ass. He's been certainly more effective here lately, but and then just to have him to basically just call Gadulaeus out on his shit, you ran away.
To call Gadulaeus further out in his shit, I am going to do. Gadulaeus says that like he ran into him. We don't know who him is, so I'm just gonna assume that this is like gonna be the final arc big boss guy. So I'm just gonna call him the boss. He ran into him, and he also wants Earth, but Gadulaeus isn't going to give it to him. So I choose to believe that Gadulaeus only came back after all this time just to have a petty grudge match and take the Earth first. After running away when like things got too tough for him.
Right, like, and I can totally see that. Like, I do like the aspect that they're going, especially since we're, fair enough, halfway through the series, to start laying the groundwork for the final villain. And the fact that the first instance we get is both Waizoru and Gadulaeus apparently don't like him, and Gadulaeus is having a giant pissing contest, and like I like the fact that there's no coercion or cohesion with the
Collusion?
bad guys. Yeah, collusion. Cohesion works too.
Uh,
Um, but it's something that I enjoy is like that. Not all the bad guys are on the same page.
yeah, that's one thing that we were wondering about the Jordans, because it doesn't have the standard Sentai villain setup. Instead, it seems to be very every man for himself.
Like, I mean, that's how they did the monsters of the week for like Lupat, but the generals were still very much
You still had the hierarchy, where here, like, that hierarchy is questionable if it even exists.
right, because the only one who wasn't in that hierarchy in Lupat was Zamigo, because he just didn't give a fuck.
And Dogranio respected him for it.
So it's like I'm interested to see how this is gonna play out.
Wiseru is a coward. He is a charismatic coward, and I love him. He has fun with what he does. Gadulaeus is a coward. He is an asshole and can't even own up to his actions.
Right, like he's very much a manipulator, which because we got that through his arc with Creon. It very much will use people for whatever advantage he can get, but at the end of the day, he'll tuck tail and run if push comes to shove.
It's like he's been alive this whole time. It's been like 3 months.
And
Dude just fucked off into space, found out that like someone he hates was also going to target the Earth, and then came back. There was no like plan. There was no waiting for the right moment. This is just petty.
This is the astronomical scale of I'm gonna take my ball and run away, but now the ball is Earth. It's like that's very much his plan. Fuck it, I'm gonna take it so you can't.
This is the astronomical scale of I dropped my ball down the hill. Oh, I don't want it that badly. Oh, I'm gonna go take it then. No, fuck you, it's my ball.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
The Ryu soldiers, Ko, Atsuna, and Melto, plus what's his face?
The man I believe to be Geizord.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. And Tiramigo go looking for Chibigaru. Uh, they hear him crying. Her. I don't know. It's voiced by Washi Pink, so let's just go with her. They hear her crying down a well, uh, and Ko goes in, starts to go in, but the guy stops him like, "Yo, you can't go in first. You're the leader. Send Asuna or Melto in. They're supposed to protect you." And then Ko's like, "What are you talking about? We're a team. That doesn't matter." And then he jumps in.
Like I'm glad that this got brought up. Because I like the Sentais that have done this in the past. Not so much Q Ranger, but that had its own list of issues.
Oof, don't get
Um,
me started.
well, King's not here to defend it, so I won't harp on it too bad. Um, with the series that have done the, for lack of a better term, we have a leader, but we really don't, have done very, very well. Ghost Sager was phenomenal at the way they handled getting to that point.
The guy's name is Nada.
Nada. Thank you. I was too lazy to look it up. Um, with this one, it's done very uniquely because it has. There's never been that we've never had that I'm in charge. No, I want to be in charge thing at all through this. It was just quite literally very, very genuine with the way it led to this, and Ko's understanding of we're all equal. There is no leader. I just happen to be in red. It it shows, especially with the fact that he just dives head first and leaves everybody else to hold down the fort. It shows his trust in the rest of the team, and the fact that and his belief that no, we are all equal. It's like we all have our own strengths and weaknesses, and we all balance each other out. It's one of the few things I do like, really do like about this show, and it's handled very, very well. Even if Code does look really weird when he smiles like that.
Alright. It's fine. It'll work out. Uh, I've said this before, but one of my favorite "no one is the leader" in Sentai comes from Goseiger, a mediocre Sentai with with a bit of charm to it. So one of the gimmicks to it is that they are angels protecting the Earth from whatever threat attacks it, and so unlike standard Sentai where you have the main villains throughout the entire series, the Goseigers have three villains. Like each arc, they just have a new enemy team that they fight against. So the third arc rolls around and they get to these machines who are all about organization and structure. And so the female general just looks at the Goseigers and goes, "You guys are real disorganized. Who is even your leader?" So they spend an episode giving everyone a turn to be the leader, except for Red, who, when it would come around to be his turn, who's like, "Hey, this isn't working. Let's just fight like we normally do by working together." And then the episode ends with all the others going, Red always pulls through when we need him. And that's it.
So it's like they essentially they like de facto him the leader.
They acknowledge that he's leader material, but he's not actually the leader.
Right.
They acknowledge that if anyone would be the leader, it would be him, basically.
And like Goseiger is a very good series to kind of parallel this with, and thinking on it a little bit deeper is like I can see why they did, because the aspect of the Goseigers were there were three teams. Siak, Landic, and
Skyak.
Skyet. So it was three different tribes working together, which is very much what we have now. We have Ko, Asuna, and Melto of one. We have
Bamba and Toa.
Toa and Banba of another, and then we have Canelo. It's like it's very much that same type of dynamic, and it works beautifully. Like Goseiger had a buttload of charm. It is one of my favorite series for that aspect. Goseiger just dropped the ball with the whole let's have new villains every arc, but one guy is magically going to be on all three teams. Oh wait, you mean he turned out to be the final villain? Big shock.
He was. Uh, uh, so Ko finds Chibigaru, who is very much like a child, and is like, "Whoa, the Ryu Soul Tribe really exists," and like tries punching him to test his reflexes.
That was adorable.
So Ko promises to take Chibigaru back to his dad, her dad, whatever, uh, and shrinks her down using Ryu Soul so that she can just hide in his jacket while he climbs back up the well. And then Gadgeleus shows up, like, "Hey, I'm not gonna let you get a new ally," and so the others have to basically fight him on top before he tries to bury them underground. Meanwhile, Kanalo, Toa, and Bamba all go after the Minosaur while Kreon was about to, pull his plan on the woman. And while they're fighting, he still does. Like, oh, your boyfriend dumped you? Don't worry, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Who knows if any of them will want to date you, though?
Like Kreon went like the extra mile with that.
And she was already like intimidated by him when he was pretending to cheer her up.
And then it just fucking terrified her even more. It's like, what the fuck?
Monster just fucking grows giant immediately.
Like I did like the fact that like they had Toa, Banba, and Canelo basically staking her out for this event to happen. Because like it was fun watching Kreon try to run away, and just you guys are everywhere. Screw it.
And Bamba is just like, yeah, you're gonna try and make, because the Mysore takes away people's kindness. He's like, you're gonna make everyone full of hate and start a war. And then Crane just like, no.
Like that was a nice touch. Like, because especially with the recent episode, Creon made a friend. I can very much see that not being what Creon wants.
Right, like I'm torn on whether or not that was a genuine, like, that wasn't our plan, versus being like, no, what are you talking about? But it sounded it sounded more like a flat, like, no, like, what are you talking about?
Like, which is what I'm chalking it up to based on that. Because like just the way Creon just goes, no. I think it's more in terms of, well, yes, that may be what other people's plan is. That's not why I'm doing this. You're an idiot. It's like it's very, to me, it's very much affluent of like the growth that we've seen with Creon, where Creon's not doing this because he's evil. He's just doing it because it's fun. Creon enjoys doing this, which, yes, I understand that, de facto is him as evil, but he's not doing it because he doesn't, out of malicious intent. He's just doing it because it's fun, which is why he hated Gadgeleus.
So the fight up top with Gadgelas does start to cause like a cave in. So Ko encourages Chibigaru to go on ahead regardless of what happens to him. And Moto is able to catch Chibigaru and like basically rush him out of there to rush him back to his dad. Meanwhile, like Chibigaru's freaking out because he doesn't know what's happening. He just showed up in the middle of a fight and now like he's running away real fast.
Like through this episode, Chibigaru was one of my favorite characters. Like just the reaction that Chibigaru had, like in that moment when Melto used Hyasol, which is usually what Toei uses to run really fast. It's just that exclamation of "Holy shit, you're so fast!" Like that whole totally unprepared for every aspect of what's going on. Like, and I will give, and I'm just gonna call her Luca because that's what I know her best as. She's been doing phenomenal with voiceover work.
She's great. I also like to point out the like choreography when the Minosaur grows big. It's growing big at the same time that like the other real soldiers are finished defeating their grunts, and so you see those dropping and exploding around the monster Monosaur as it like enlarges.
Like this series is very good with cinematography effects and just the overall aesthetic of what's going on. Like some of the effects do look like a bag of ass, but again, kids show. But like overall, it's very well done for the special effects overall with this when they do this type of stuff.
And then Tiramigo stands up to Gadgelas and starts tanking a bunch of hits to protect Ko from causing stop Gadgelas from causing another cave in.
Like that was nice. Like I did enjoy seeing Tiramigo get in on the fight. Like cuz that's something that we don't see typically with at least in this show, because this is really the only time that we've had this type of situation. It's unique and I like it. It's like it added more reason for Tiramigo to be there, and it fit in with Tiramigo himself trying to protect Ko.
Also, another thing that I forgot to mention was when Nada was telling Ko like, "Hey, you can't just rush in at first. I know you really want to like make Pachigaru your new partner." And then Ko cuts him off there. Is like, "Yeah, we could use his help, but also trying to reunite this family together, trying to reunite a parent with their child."
Like and again, it's like this is the reason why I like Ko. Like he's very mundane as a red. Like he's very most of the reds we've gotten in the past have been like loud and brash and headstrong and all that, and Ko's he's very laid back. The closest we got to an outburst from him was in the other episode where he lost his kindness.
There was the episode when when he loses his cool because Tengjo mocks him because like, haha, I killed your master. What are you gonna do about it?
Right, and again, that was also still very early on. That one was still real fresh, and again, he revoked to that point. It's like, but overall, he's been one of the more laid back Reds that I've seen in a while. Like he's very much a go with the flow, and his whole thing isn't about building power; it's about building relationship and protecting the relationships that already exist. In this case, between Pachigo and for the love of God, it blanked on my head. Chibigaru. Yeah, And I realized I screwed up Punjigaru's name.
Pachigaru.
Yeah, Pachigaru. It's like it's one of the reasons I like Ko. As much of a laid back character is, like he's very, very down to earth and not really full of himself.
Ugh. So Pachigaru and Chibigaru reunited, and before they go to join the fight against the Minosaur, they give Melto their Ryu soul. So Melto returns to the fight against Gadulaeus and uses it, where he basically gets two giant boxing gloves, and he just starts beating the shit out of Gadulaeus. Like it is impressive.
Like, and then there's a few things on this that I really enjoy. One, the fact that Ko or Canelo did not use this first,
Right? Like,
which is how I had expected this to go. Like, I'd seen the images of both of them wearing the armor before this episode came out. Like, so I'm glad that Melto was the one who used it first.
right. So it's like, hey, use this to protect Ko. He was real nice to me. Don't give it to Ko, give it to someone to protect him.
It's like, and it's done, and it's nice. It's like, though I have one thought, because Melto shows up, uses that armor, and like you said, starts beating the ever loving shit out of Gadulaeus.
It's really one-sided. It's hilarious considering what Gadulaeus did to them before.
Could you imagine if Asuna had used it?
Oh my god. He might not have gotten away.
She would have broke his ass.
Might have like at least cracked his armor.
Like, as I was watching that fight, I'm like,
It's like, so
man,
Gadulaeus
Asuna-
admits, even when he blocks, like, he is still being thrown back by the force.
like, it's like, and it was one of those. It was like, as soon as that came out, I'm like, oh, Asuna would have wrecked him.
Ah,
It's like, and as awkward as it is to see green on blue,
it looks good.
it does look good. Like, it's that olive drab green, so it's a color I don't like personally because I was in the military, and my god, do I hate olive drab green.
It really doesn't work with that shade of blue either, but overall the suit looks good. And the only reason Gadulaeus got away is because after Melto knocked him aside, he focused on saving Ko instead of finishing the fight.
Right, because if Melto would have continued, then there would have been no contest. And again, he didn't flee.
He withdrew. Yeah, sure. With your tail between your legs.
Like, I'll give him credit to keep that they kept up that with the fact that he said, "I'm withdrawing."
Here's the thing. Like, when he was pushing Creon, he was all about, like, don't think, just do. Like, just do it perfect. Like, don't hesitate. Like, all that stuff. Like, when Creon went to keep his word about the hostage, he came and was like, why would you keep your promise? Here, he's about to, like, finish off Asuna and Tiramigo when Melto shouts, hold on. And then Gadulaeus holds on. Like, huh, the fuck are you doing?
Do as I say, not as I do. And then, like, that's very much what that was like, and it was nice to see him go. Like, this was a good, like, even just that, like, the way that scene was formed, at least gave precedence to the standard. I'm gonna stand around and watch people transform. Because it was more of a, wait, what the fuck is happening? So it was like, I do like the fact that they added a bit of precedence to that by him being distracted. But yeah, it's like, I do like the fact that they kept up because it's not retreating if I say I'm withdrawing.
Like, then when Melto does rescue Ko, Ko comes bursting out like Marisol already equipped and just starts immediately throwing fire at Gadulaeus, and who immediately retreats like, nope, not doing this.
He's like, I will admit, like, that was one of the more hype transformations that Ko's had. Because he's literally being launched like a rocket out of a fucking and transforms as he's coming up. And just starts fireballing motherfuckers.
Oh, look, he casts Meteor. Who cares? Ko casts Fireball.
I don't care, Meteors. That was still fucking amazing. That's one of the. That's still one of the best scenes in fucking Q Ranger.
Dude, the final fight when he fucking does that against Onarmage.
Like, see, I don't.
Good job making Lucky cool.
Like, other than that, I think the only other perfect scene in that entire series is when Ryu Commander gets his Zord stuck in a hole. Like, other than that, it's like those are to me the two most perfect scenes in the entire series.
Oh. So it comes down to the big mech fight. They combine with Pachigaru to basically like their Tiramigo now has giant boxing gloves. Melto gives the Ryusoul to Ko to use, and Kreon is just on the ground like, what's that gonna do? My monster has so many eyes. He'll be able to see all of your attacks. Like, yeah, okay, he'll be able to see all the attacks. What's he gonna do about them? Short answer, like, nothing.
Like, the whole setup for this mech fight, it's something we've seen time and time again. I'm getting tired of seeing like the whole wrestling ring Zord or boxing ring Zord thing. I'm really getting tired of it. I think it's very, very old and needs to stop. But the fact that they committed to the bit as hard as they did, because usually it's just more they get that they get that little graphic of, you know, the mech in the ring.
No,
then they just happen to be in an area that's surrounded by high tension power lines.
Right, like they specifically shot this with all the cables and wires from like the power lines to look like a boxing ring.
Which, I mean, they've done that before. It's like, but they don't commit to the bit. Like, that's about as far as like that usually goes.
You have the mech like sitting in his corner afterwards.
Like, the level of fucking commitment for this bit is the reason why I love this mech fight. As short as it is, like, it was just beautiful, and to have some random dude doing the ring announcement for it.
Geki Ranger, eat your heart out. So we get our obligatory Kanalo falls for a woman he just met, where he tries to cheer up the victim of the Minosaur, saying like, don't worry, there's someone out there for you. Perhaps even, and then she's already walking away.
Like, the best part of that was like this just the setup for it. With the whole her looking at him, and
like she leaned into him first, yeah.
The dreamy guitar in the background is like, oh, finally, it's someone who fell for him.
And then
it's like, just,
nope. He's like doing his old even in sorrow, do not despair.
And the fact that Banba turns around and goes, as Kanelo's now crushed, telling him the exact same thing.
Even in sorrow, do not despair. And then Kanelo is just like so fucking salty from that.
He's like, you son of a bitch.
And then we get the next best part of this episode for the final scene. Gadulaeus returns to like Wazuru and Creon's hideout, and Gaisorg is just waiting there for him. And it's like, I love that the villains are using this hideout that Wazuru made.
Like, it's fantastic.
This is the official base of the Druidons. Deal with it. There's a disco ball.
It's just under some random bridge.
They're fucking like there's like setups to like on the wall to make it look like he's got like little umbrellas up.
I give Creon credit as like that whole they just set it up as whole. It's like though this led to a little amazing
Like
scene with Geysorg.
not gonna lie, the fact that like all the other Drorodons are now like just using this as the official base just makes me so fucking happy. This is it.
It's like, do you want to know there's a fundamental flaw here with them using that as a base. We all remember that the real soldiers found this place.
No. This is the second base. They abandoned the first one that was found.
Okay.
And
Okay,
then they
this is
set
the
this
second
one up, and then Geysorg walked in and went, "What is this?"
Okay, I forgot about them moving places because I'm like,
Yeah.
the real soldiers know where this is.
Yeah, Geysorg walks in and is like, "What is this?" And they explains like, "Well, they found our last place, so here we go." So Geysorg is just kind of like, if you asked for my help, I would have helped you. And Gajalace tells him to shut up. And then Geysorg like is like, yeah, okay, whatever. Basically, no one is taking Gajalace's shit anymore. Creon was the only one who ever did, and he now has Wiseru backing him.
Like the one thing that I did like about that is Gadulaeus basically looks at Geyser and goes, you know what, I'll break your armor.
It's like, please do. It's cursed.
And his whole thing is like, I'm not going to be rid of it anyways.
Like, if I take it off, it doesn't go away. So if you break it, I would be free.
Like
he doesn't actually explain all that, but we know that's what's happening.
Oh yeah, it's like I like that aspect of it being like a sly two-way remark about do it, break it, please set me free,
yeah.
And also do it. It's not gonna help you. Like it was a little bit twofold. Like guys are sitting going like, please break my armor. I'll still kick your ass.
Yeah, it's like, go ahead and break my armor. That would benefit me. It's not going to benefit you at all. And I don't even know if you can do it.
Like this episode was a lot better than I anticipated given the preview.
Oh, yeah. Like, this was just a solid episode. Like, this kind of villain interaction, it gets missed a lot in Sentai, and so when you actually get it, it's really worth seeing. And then we also got good development for Ko to show, like, here's why this guy deserves to be read.
Like, and it's done exceptionally. There's only so far like ultimately there's one aspect of the show that bothers the fuck out of me, and it's the only thing that really bothers the fuck out of me. Why do they play pirate music? I understand it's not pirate music, it's like Celtic tribal music, but it very much sounds like it should be in Gokaiger every time they do that. And they've been doing it every episode.
I distinctly remember watching the first episode and, like, at one point going, are they about to play the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack? They didn't, but that's how it started.
Right, and like I said, it's Irish Celtic music is what it is. I distinctly know what music they're playing because that's family music for me. But it just comes across very piratey with how they do it, and it just seems really out of place for something involved.
So, let's talk about the next episode preview for a bit. The Minosaur is going to be inside of Asuna. It'll be wrapped around her heart, and so basically, like, how do we defeat this without killing Asuna?
Shine Raptor.
Pretty much. Like, oh hey, can't like Shadow Raptor just summon black holes that specifically target whatever you want it to? Let's never use that again.
Right. It's like as soon as I saw that the whole premise of that, my brain went, well, there's an easy answer.
Like Shine and Cosmo Raptor just fucking already has the answer to this. But that would be too easy. We need to put Ko in a moral dilemma that makes him think. Uh, well, so okay, so this is about. So it's presented as an episode about Ko, right? But that's like the trick here. It's really an episode about Nada. Because at the end of this episode, Nada like acknowledges to himself, like, huh, Master Red was right. What was he right about? We don't know. Presumably, like, in choosing Ko to be the Red. Uh, and then in the next episode preview, we see, like, Nada is going hard on Ko, saying, like, you don't deserve to be Red. Possibly trying to make him, like, feel bad for the situation that Asuna is in. So the question is, what's Nada's plan?
Like this is like the small little bits that's like it's seriously making me really consider the fact that me solidifying the fact that he's really Geisor, because he's been back and forth on this, love hate thing, because he's been talking up Ko and giving Ko advice and all, and then acknowledging in this episode, which is what I'm chalking that up to. And then just to have him turn around and flip scripts in the next episode, I'm like, that was fucking fast. Oh wait, you're an asshole. That's why. It's like I firmly believe he's up to some shady ass shit. Like I don't see the way they're playing this out. Is like I see no other explanation for it. I mean, it can't be that. Like it, because it started off as that whole just the disgruntled, kicked off to the side, you're not worthy kind of thing.
Unless they're like cutting out half the conversation and you find out that he's actually saying, like, if you can't protect your team, you don't deserve to be Red.
Right, which may be the case, because that's what they did the last time that when they took his kindness. Because they cut that whole scene up and made it seem like Ko had beat the shit out of the Ryusoulgers.
And they made it seem like Nada was like making Ko feel bad, like, or like Ko was like, I don't deserve to be Red or some. I don't remember. They made it seem like something it wasn't.
Right. It's like, and it's making it very, very hard to determine exactly how that's in context. Because it very much wouldn't surprise me if it was only half the conversation, because it probably is. Because the previews have been good when they do this type of stuff of going, oh, well, this is the way it's going, and it's completely different. Because like I said, like when the preview for the episode where Ko got his kindness taken, it's like it literally set the entire preview up like Ko just beat the shit out of the fucking Ryusoulgers. Because it was just them on the ground and him there standing. And it's like, which obviously is not what happened. Because he just showed up at that point and started beating the shit out of the bad guys.
Yeah. So, we'll have to see what Nada's like game plan is. Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow for more Kamen Rider 01, and Thursday for the season finale of Power Rangers Beast Morphers. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.
Thank you all for joining. We'll see you tomorrow, Thursday, or next week.